Hello, hello. Let me take this off. Awesome. So, hi guys. I haven't done a live video in quite a long time, but this is going to be basically a new show that I'm going to start doing every morning. I wanted to test this out on Sunday. Um, it's Sunday, 7 a.m. here in what's going to be sunny Southern California. And this is basically a show that I've dubbed Flippin' Live, as in flippers talking about flipping, and also it's flipping live, right? So isn't that funny? So basically, this is what we're going to talk about today. What I plan on talking about, and I have the comments up here. I'm using a new software, so this is all new to me. So I'm trying to iron out the kinks. But this is day one of the show. I even have a cool song for it. I'll play for you in a moment. Basically, here's some of the stuff I want to talk about. As you may or may not be able to tell, I actually changed the name of my channel, so I'll talk about that and some things about the channel and what I'm doing and whatever introduction. And then hopefully more people will be joining and do a little check-in, kind of see how everyone's doing as resellers during this time. Talk about how to survive or thrive, things that we can do during this quarantine time, which is why I'm doing the show. So we can have something to look forward to and something to, you know, come together as a community and that type of thing. Another something else I want to talk about is trying to create a new habit, and I have some ideas for that. And then maybe some Q&A and some other stuff in there as well. So we got 3 people here, which I'm glad for. I see South London Resellers here. Good afternoon to you too. And let me play. Where is it? Uh-oh. Here it is. See, gotta get used to the... So here we go, guys. This is the theme song. Flippin' live. If you can hear it, let me know. Flippin' live. Flippin' live. Flippin' live. Flippin' live. We're gonna strive. We're here to learn and gonna earn. Flippin' live. Flippin' live. Flippin' live. We're flippin' live. So were you guys able to hear the song? Was it on full blast? Let me know, please, in the comments. I know there's only a few of us here. Well, anyway, hopefully. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about who I am and my channel's about. Feel free to say hello in the chat. Oh, another thing too. Okay, cool. Another thing too, I wanted to do a little, have a little fun and see if we can get to 20 likes on the video. I'll tell you a little story, unrelated to reselling, but I'll tell you a little story about when I was working, when I was much younger. I had a job here in Southern California, and I met I served a celebrity. So anyway, I can tell you about that if we get to 20 likes. And let's see if that is a possibility. Does it show me the likes on here? I don't know. Figuring this whole thing out. So, first things first, introduce myself. When I started the channel, I looked back on the first video that I uploaded to this YouTube channel, and it was actually, believe it or not, it was actually April 25th of 2015, which was 5 years ago. So I just passed the 5-year mark of starting this channel, and it was actually a vlog and about me. It was only like 3.5-minute video that I edited together, put together, and it was about me going to a thrift store locally here and buying some books to resell. At that point, I had only been reselling, let's see, that was April, so I'd only been reselling since September of the previous year. because I'm approaching my 6th year having been a book reseller. Hello, everybody that just joined. I just talked about what I see we're up to 6 viewers. Feel free to say hello in the chat. I can see the chat here. I'm on a new software. Steve, oh, music is still playing, huh? That's weird. I don't even hear it. Well, I'll turn it all the way down if it's still playing. Is it gone now? Huh. Okay. Feel free to say hello in the chat. This is definitely going to be interactive, live stream. Flippin Live is the name of it, and I'll be doing it every day from 7 a.m. East or not Eastern Standard Time. That would be crazy. Pacific Standard Time to 8 a.m. So this is just our first day one here of doing this. Give it a test run on Sunday, see how it goes. And make some tweaks going forward. So talking about the history of my channel, that I put my first video up there in 2015, April 25th. And it was a shorter video, but I edited it together about a reselling run that I did to a local thrift store, talking about some books that I got to resell on Amazon. Because at that point, some history of my, not just on this channel, but my reselling history is that I started in September of 2014. I found out about it actually through somebody on YouTube, believe it or not. And I started doing FBA. At first, before I even started getting into books, I was trying to do retail arbitrage, which was not something that worked out for me. I was glad that I stumbled onto books. So anyway, so I had started just that September. I had sent in my first shipment, and I really didn't know what I was doing. But by the time I had made that video, I had gotten much better at figuring out what books to send in. Oh, okay. Steve says it stopped 60 seconds ago. Okay, cool. By the way, can you see when I pop that up there? Can you see that I just put what you set up on the screen, or can you not see that, Steve? Or is that just for me? Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out the software. So yeah, so that's when the channel started, and I kept on after that putting up videos. I'm not sure if I did it consistently, but I also had a different name for the channel. Initially, the channel was, which if you watch that first video, you'll see that I put the name of the channel back then called Book Bandit, and I had that name for like, I don't know, probably a year, 2 years, something like that. And I found out though a couple years in that someone else had actually already had that name. They had trademarked the name, and they were using it for some sort of service for reselling. Not reselling. Sorry, it was buying back books, I believe. Anyway, so I had to change the name, and I really didn't spend much time trying to think about it. So I came up with Marshall Bookman. Marshall is actually my grandfather's name, was my grandfather's name. So I just randomly came up with that. And then I really liked Book Bandit. I wanted to keep that, but unfortunately wasn't able to. So I came up with the other one anyway. And then that was what the channel's name was for quite a while, probably more than half of the time that I've had the channel. And I've made hundreds of videos talking, about reselling by and large. Could not see pop-ups. Okay, so I do not know how to do that yet. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Anyway, I'll have to figure that out for the next one. I just learned the basics of this software yesterday. It's called eCam Live, if you're wondering. So I learned how to do the overlays, stuff like this, putting up the messages. But anyway, so I'll figure out the other stuff for tomorrow. So yeah, oh, well, no, that's okay. So yeah, basically that's how that went. I changed my channel again. So now I've changed my channel to the final time. It's now called 510 Books, because that's what I am naming, excuse me, my local store. And if you follow me for a while, you may or may not know this, but I resell not only on Amazon now, but also on eBay. Started in books, got into CDs next, and then into records, vinyl records. And then as I got into bulk buying Gaylords, first of all, before Gaylords, I was doing like buying a lot of CDs from this guy locally who was a book reseller, and he didn't want to deal with the CDs, so I was buying them off of him, and he'd box them up for me. And then after that, I slowly found some Gaylord connections, and I've been with one source for, geez, like 3 years or 2.5 years, and that's why I've got my most recent Gaylord orders from. So yeah, anyway, so then I got into eBay because I had all this excess stuff, DVDs, video games, and software and everything else. So I started doing eBay 3 years ago this month, or last month, April. And so that's going well right now. eBay's really strong, as I'm sure a lot of you guys know. And yeah, and so then so this is still the introduction, still talking about myself, but this is basically leading into me getting a storage unit and then wanting to get a warehouse, which I eventually did in October of last year. So I've been in there for, about half a year now. And I do a local sale, which I'm not able to do now because of the quarantine, but I did it 5 times up until March. March 3rd and 4th was my last one, right when, everything started to lock down here in California. So, but anyway, so I put a lot of stuff aside for the local sale, and then I resell a lot of stuff on eBay. So that's a little bit about me in terms of what's going on, or my history on the channel and my history of reselling. Just a real quick little synopsis. And there's 5 of us here now. If you guys, so 7 of us now. So how are, just if anybody willing to share in the chat, if anyone's like, how's it going reselling? We have 8 people now. Everybody's welcome. Welcome to chat and tell us how, kind of a check-in. Like for me, I'll get it started for me. So this is, here we go, Reseller Check-in. So basically, let me know in the chat if things are going well or not during these quarantine times. I know everybody here, I'm assuming, I know South London Reseller lives in London, but of course a lot of countries are shut down because of the quarantine. Oh, okay, Gary. Well, but if anybody has any comments in regards to how things are going for reselling, are they good or bad right now? And I mean in terms of, sales, number one, or also just sourcing. So right now I feel like a lot of people, Nathan asked, have you found inventory to be more affordable? So I haven't really been buying. Sales have been good, listing now. So basically for me, in terms of sales, my Amazon sales have been pretty steady. We've been here in California locked down or on quarantine since it's been like, I think this is the 6th week. So it's been quite a while where basically everything has been closed down. Michael says, I remember when you were Book Bandit. Awesome. I do remember that too. Yeah, that was fun. I wish I could go back to the Book Bandit, but anyway, that's fine. I'm good with 5-10 books. Yeah, so sales have been pretty steady for Amazon. Although in the beginning of the shutdown, I was not able to, or the quarantine, I was not able to send anything in. As you guys know, Amazon wasn't accepting non-essential items, but they just recently lifted that. And I don't know, I sent a shipment in about, I think it's been probably 2 weeks now, but that was my first shipment, and that luckily went to a local warehouse, and so things went live pretty quick, and I got some sales off that, and I'm still getting some sales off of that. It wasn't a ton of items, but it was some high value stuff. And so Amazon has been pretty steady, but I haven't had a lot of other stuff to send in. I'm starting to slowly accumulate a few more things because I have some a Gaylord and a half to go through of CDs, or CDs left. Basically, it's like a half Gaylord of CDs altogether. No, Papa. Where? Okay, go ahead. Can't see you. Okay, go. Want to say hi? No? Okay. No? All right. Sorry, brief family interruption because I don't have like a dedicated, you know, basement or something where I can get away from everybody. But anyway, so so yeah, so Amazon was pretty consistent, and but I haven't had too much stuff to send in. Amazon Merchant Field has been good. Michael says. For me, I've been doing steady sales on FBA because I have like over 950 items, something like that. Merchant Fulfilled, I have like 300. So I did add a bunch of new Merchant Fulfilled. So I sold a few things, but as usual, Merchant Fulfilled is always super competitive. And there's always those bottom feeder people that are big mega sellers that like to just drive the price way down. Um, Nathan asked me a good question. I'll get back to that, Nathan. So yeah, but eBay has like I said, I've been on eBay 3 years. eBay has been doing really well, especially lately. I've listed a lot more individual items, doing a lot of auctions, so that's been going really well. In terms of supply, I have I've already had like not seven. I had about like five Gaylords when the virus started to spread and things started to close down. So fortunately for me, I know not everybody falls into this category. Fortunately for me, I was able to, or I was, I already had a lot of inventory to go through. And right when the shutdown started, quarantining, I actually bought 1,000 records. I think I made a video about it or talked about it in a video where I bought 1,000 vinyl records for my local sale, which I have yet to go through. And I also was able to get around like 400 or 500 books for like $20 that I have not gone through either. So I was fortunate in the beginning to grab a bunch of that stuff, and then I still had the Gaylord. So anyway, but if you don't fall into that category, which I want to talk about a little bit, is how to try to survive during this time. Is how to find more inventory. But let me see what people were saying. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, Nathan asked if I found inventory to be more affordable. Well, I haven't really bought any, so I'm not sure. But I would imagine that locally, there's probably going to be some good deals. And also remember that people are not, at least where I live, people have not been able to donate. So I noticed there was a thrift store locally, right around the corner from where I live. I saw that they had like the gate open, they had a sign out. I didn't have a chance to see what the sign said, but maybe they're starting to accept donations. I don't know, but I know Goodwill. I don't believe they are. So it's an opportunity, for you to try to grab that stuff. South London reseller sales have been good. Nathan said low inventory count. Yeah. South London, anything and everything has been selling. Have lots of stock. That's good. Yeah, Gary's listing the death pile. If you have a death pile, this is the time. This is the opportunity. There's ever been an opportunity to really get after that death pile, which is now it's a great that you're probably glad that you have it. Nathan says, are you worried mass unemployment is going to hurt sales? I mean, am I worried about that? I don't know. It's not something I think about. Have I thought about it? Yes. Randomly, I have thought about that there are a lot of people that are unemployed, in the service industries and a lot of different industries. But I mean, just from personal experience, it hasn't slowed down my sales of what I sell on Amazon and on eBay, which is, on Amazon, it's mostly books and CDs. And on eBay, it's a few books, but it's mostly CDs, DVDs, some video games, some audiobooks, some software. And there's a few vinyl records. So it's mostly stuff that, collectors or just hobbyists would buy. And I haven't seen that slow down. The more I've listed, the more I've sold. So I don't know, I think it could long term. It depends on how long this is going to go on, which really the virus, is going to dictate that. South London said he bought it. Oh, hi Barb, how you doing? Good to see you. South London reseller said he bought a box of hand sanitizers but can't sell them. Oh no. It's funny about that. A little story. I don't know much of a story. The guy next to me, my warehouse unit, he is an importer exporter from South Korea, and he gives me random products. He's like, oh, here, I'm selling this. this is something I'm selling. He gave me like coffee mix, a box of coffee mix, I guess, to make coffee, like a Folgers thing, but from Korea. And then he gave me which was really nice because I had someone come over to, just one person I had come over. Well, I had two people, but I had one person come over like a couple weeks ago to buy some DVDs from me. So I opened up my warehouse and they bought a bunch of them from me, like 35 or something. And she just contacted me recently to come back. But anyway, he saw that I had that and he gave me some hand sanitizer, which was really nice of him. So that, people come, they can sanitize their hands. And then he gave me a whole brand new package of toilet paper, but this is toilet paper from South Korea. And he was like, "Oh, maybe you can sell it online." Like, maybe trying to get me to, sell his products. But anyway, which was a good idea because I looked on eBay for a 30 pack of toilet paper, uh, and they're going for crazy prices. I mean, anywhere from like $40 to like $80 plus shipping. And there's none available. They were all sold out. I guess the instant they go up there, they get sold. But so I was thinking about selling the toilet paper, but then I tried the paper and it's not the softest, let's say. But anyway, side note. So anyway, we'll see what other kind of products he might give me. So anyway, so let's see how to survive. Yeah, I had some stuff here. Da-da-da. What did I write down here? So, and again, guys, if I can't see, this is terrible. I'm gonna have to figure this out. But if we get to 20 likes, I'll tell you a little story. Let's see here. How to survive. Yeah, I mean, like Nathan says, yeah, offer up local apps. I say go local. So I've randomly looked at local apps. Excuse me. I've randomly looked at local apps, for books or for CDs, that type of thing. And I made a video about it a few weeks ago about those free books that I came across from. Oh, there's the likes up here. I see it. Cool. 2 likes. We have 18 to go. We're gonna need some more people in here to hit 18. That's for sure. Okay, or to hit 18 more to 20. So I thank you. I appreciate the likes. You guys are awesome. What was I gonna say? So yeah. So I was looking on. It was actually, I believe it was OfferUp. So so in terms of websites, in terms of marketplaces, we got Facebook Marketplace. We've got Craigslist, of course, which still going strong, believe it or not, despite, thank you, more likes, third like, despite, Craigslist being around for so long and all this other stuff coming up for selling local sale, and are looking locally or selling locally. And then in terms of the apps, the ones that I've used are Let Go and OfferUp. So those are great places to either list things, of course, to sell locally or find them. So I found on OfferUp, I found that ad for free books, and I couldn't believe it because they had so many, and they said that they were a lot of them were textbooks, and that they were like a tutoring business, which I found out was going out of business, which is why they were getting rid of all the books. And then I went, and I contacted the woman and went down there, and she had hundreds and hundreds, like a whole big room full of boxed up books. And I only had a car. I didn't realize how many she had. And so I filled my car with as many as I could. She gave me as many as she could give me. And then I went back and went through them, and I found that there was a lot of valuable books in there. So I contacted her again and said, I'd be willing to come and get more. So anyway, so I got more. So that was on OfferUp. So you can do things like, you can set, I don't know if they're what they're called, reminders based on the searches that you type in. I know you can do that with Let's Go and with OfferUp. So, free books, CD collection, whatever you're looking for, maybe records if you want to get notified when people put up more records for sale. Then that type of thing. So you want to, if you're having a hard time finding items, I would say if you're not in the position where you don't already have a death pile or have a bunch of stuff inventory that you haven't gone through yet, then you can try to go local just by looking to see what people are posting, checking several times a day, alerts, right? Having the search alerts set up. Another thing you could do is you could offer pickup service. So I've seen, actually not a ton, but a few other people who advertise this in my area, where they'll pick up your books for free, that type of thing. So you can just do that for free on on Facebook, on Craigslist, on the local apps, and say, I'll come do a porch pickup of your books. Also utilize the idea that during these times, there's not, most thrift stores are not open, and so therefore, you're not able to drop off your items. I assume that's the same in most areas throughout the country. I know where I am, they're all closed, thrift stores, and things may start slowly opening, soon. But you can advertise that for free. If you have money to advertise, to do some paid advertising, you can even try that. I've tried that on Facebook, and people showed a lot of interest in that, where you can run an ad for $100, $50, whatever, $5 a day, create a video ad saying, basically, I live, in this area, and I'm a bookseller. I'm interested in helping you, free up your shelves, or your storage space, or whatever in your house, in your office. And I know now times are tough because you're not able to donate, so maybe you have a lot to donate, et cetera, et cetera. And you never know what could happen. And you can do that for free. Yeah, Nathan says, I try to buy used Nikes in like new condition, but everyone wants full value. Yeah, I'm assuming right now a lot of people that normally don't try to sell their stuff are doing that because they're at home, or especially people that maybe lost their job, or their hours got cut, or they're furloughed until they get things to open back up, that they're trying to sell some of the stuff that they've been intending to sell, or that they didn't think they had to sell and now they have to, et cetera, et cetera. So that's probably going to happen, where people are going to try to make some money off of things, sell things at the price where where it cuts out your potential profit. So that's probably more than likely going to be happening for sure. I appreciate the likes, guys. We're up to guys and gals. We're up to 5 likes, 10 viewers. That's awesome. Again, if we hit 20 likes, I will tell you a little story. That has nothing to do with reselling. Just a little story. When I had a job when I first moved to Southern California, about meeting a celebrity, who you may or may not know who that is, but we'll find out if we get to 20 likes. That'd be pretty awesome. So yeah, in terms of how to thrive during the lockdown, I'd suggest going local, because another thing you can use is Nextdoor. I don't know if you guys use that app. I find that the Nextdoor app, people are really active with it. A lot of people post on there a lot, kind of treat it like Facebook, but it's super, super local. So you can, be a part of your neighborhood, or local neighborhoods, depending, and you can advertise on there for free as well. And I find people are pretty responsive. They have a buy and sell section, business section as well, but they're not. Or what was I going to say? I've posted a few times in there, and I've got. I actually I didn't post in the buy sell. I posted in the other one when I had my sale, and I didn't have much of a response, probably because I haven't posted very much. But people are definitely active on there. So maybe if you post saying something like, "Yeah, looking, are you trying to get rid of your books, or not get rid of, but are you looking for a place to donate your books? Because I'd be glad to take them off your hands, etc." I also, you can go to the approach where you can say that you're going to donate part of the proceeds to some organization, which is what I intend on doing. Once I get through everything that I already have, I'm fortunate that I have a lot in the warehouse to go through. But when I get to the point to where I don't have much left to sell, put aside for local or sell online, it's good for gossip, Nathan says. That that I'm going to try that. That's my idea, to try to get that engine going for locally for me. When I have the sale, I talk to people about donating to me, and I've had a few people donate or trade stuff, like CDs, and one woman has donated a bunch of books to me. So the more you become a go-to, the more people know about you, then the more likely that you're able to grab those donations before they end up at Goodwill or any other thrift stores. So you might think about that, saying that I'll donate 20 or 25% or however much you want of potential profit off of the books you give me to, you know, this charity or this organization or whatever it may be. That's another idea for trying to, push people to donate to you versus holding on to it and waiting to donate it to a thrift store or getting rid of it, throwing it away, or whatever they might do. I mean, of course, it depends on what you're doing. Like, I know there's people that, like me, that have a local sale, or they don't do a local sale, but they have set up a website or a Facebook page because they're trying to become that source for local donations of books and other types of media. And so you can do that without having a warehouse or without having, you know, an office, say, if you're working just out of your house, or you just out of your house on a storage unit or whatever it may be. Because I started just in my house in my garage, and then I moved to a storage unit and my house, and now I'm doing work out of my house and a warehouse. So you can do those steps or not, but wherever you are, you can become, if you work on it, of course, you can advertise for free or for paid advertising on a variety of platforms. If you throw up a website or you throw up a Facebook page and say, go there, to contact me or whatever it may be, as an idea to advertise. I mean, you can also, pass out flyers. I mean, there's all different types of ways, the old school ways, if you don't want to do it online, or just have a business card. I know nowadays we're not shaking hands and we're not really seeing people, so that's not really going to work. But when things do get back to, whatever the new normal is going to be. Let's see. So are you guys, I have my water here. First of all, I know someone's South London reseller is from London. Are you guys coming from around? I have them paid ads. Are you guys from spread out throughout the country? Let me know in the chat where you are right now. Water in the morning is delicious. I'm sure some of you might be drinking coffee. I'm here in Southern California. It's gonna be what seems like another warm, sunny day, thankfully. I decided to start this early at 7. Alabama, awesome. So we have South London, and I assume South London reseller. I assume you're in South London. And then Alabama. We have Central Oregon. All right. You're out here on this side. Okay, London, other side of the world. Awesome. What time is it there in London? I mean, I could look it up, but so that's great. I have not had breakfast yet. I decided to start this. Hawaii. Wow, Brenda's from Hawaii. Awesome, Brenda. I remember I've been to Hawaii once. Man, it was beautiful. I'll tell you that. It was a long time ago. That was before I even had kids. The wife and I went for her job. We actually were fortunate enough to stay in a hotel. We had a room right on the beach. We could just look out the window, and the beach was right there. So that was a pretty awesome experience. But great. So, okay, Steve, PA, Pennsylvania. Okay. So 3:30. Oh wow. Okay. So the day's more than halfway through in London. Okay. Pennsylvania, Steve. I used to live in Pennsylvania. So that's awesome. I used to live in actually Harrisburg and Hershey. I don't know what part of Pennsylvania you're in. When I was a kid, actually. All right. So, what are we going to do now? So we're going to have it. Oh, right. So I want to talk about, so check in again for the likes. We're up to 8 likes, which is awesome. 11 people watching. If we get up to 20, I'll tell you a little story. May or may not be interesting, but a little story about when I was working a job that I had years ago. I'm so old that I can say several decades ago. And I met a celebrity. I served the celebrity. So anyway, we can talk about that if we get to 20 likes. So now I want to talk about creating a new habit while we're in lockdown. This is kind of the perfect opportunity, and I threw together some ideas. And these may or may not be related directly to reselling. Again, I want this live stream to not. I mean, we talk a lot about reselling. That's no problem. But sometimes you might end up running out on ideas to talk about, especially if I'm going to do this daily. So I want this to also be entertaining. Have some fun in here, not just business, which is fine to talk about that, but also just talk about some other stuff like creating a new habit. So let's see, Pittsburgh. Okay. Yeah, I lived in Pennsylvania. So I lived in Pennsylvania from age 4-ish to 10. And I never lived in Pittsburgh. I don't know if I went to Pittsburgh. Maybe I did, but I lived so I lived in Harrisburg and Hershey. Now, I'm sure everybody here has had a Hershey bar. That's actually where they're made in Hershey, Pennsylvania. So actually, in Hershey, Pennsylvania, um, they have the factory, right? But you can actually do a tour of the factory or part of it anyway. It's like not a museum, but a tour of chocolate, and they have these rivers of chocolate with these like metal, I don't know what you call them, but just running the chocolates, mixing it up. It's crazy, especially as a kid. The street lights in Hershey, the downtown Hershey area, are Hershey Kisses. They have an amusement park called Hershey Park. I believe that's what it was called. I assume it's still called Hershey Park, with all kinds of roller coasters and fun stuff like that. Which, of course, as a kid, nowadays, me being an old guy, uh, I don't do roller coasters anymore. But as a kid, it was pretty awesome. So anyway, that's a pretty fun place to live when you're growing up. That's for sure. So you know, during these quarantine times, uh, things have changed a lot for me, as I'm sure they have for a lot of people, but also they haven't changed in terms of me personally. Like for before quarantine, before this virus, uh, I would have my warehouse. So kids would go to school. I'd go, usually go to the warehouse and sort stuff and organize and that type of thing. Uh, and I would also list here at home. So it was basically, working at home, working in the warehouse, going to the post office. Um, Occasionally what do you call it? I would source, go to a thrift store, go to a book sale, that type of thing. But nowadays, of course, you can't do that. So I went to a thrift store right as things were just about to start closing down. But that was the last time, of course. So, so things are not that different for me. However, my wife is working from home. My kids are not in school, so we're homeschooling them. So those things, of course, have changed. Come here. Man. Okay, close the door. Bianca, hey. Um, but hold on one second. My daughter did not want to come and say hi. Oh, hey, Brian. Brian's here. Awesome. Oh. Steve said, I actually picked up my disc resurfacer from a guy in the parking lot of 2nd and Charles in Harrisburg. Hershey's a great time. Yeah, it definitely is. One day I'll go back, show my kids Hershey, and I'm sure they'll enjoy it. I haven't been back since I was a kid. I was like 10 years old, but yeah, it was fun. So I forgot what I was talking about. I know I was talking about creating a new habit. Oh, right, my schedule. How my schedule. So things have changed. So my kids go to they go a couple days to their grandparents' house. Aside from that, kids do not go out. We don't take them anywhere. Unfortunately, they stay in the car and then the house, and their grandparents' house. But I'll go ahead, Brian. So there's no silly questions, right? This is not just serious business here. We're trying to have some fun. Look, I even have some. Oh, where did they go? Um, no, that's not it.
Dude.
I even have some silly noises. So go ahead, Brian.
Dude.
So I'll be using those. So this definitely should, let's not be too serious. We can have some fun, and just try to, I'm trying to use this as a live stream as learning from each other, but also community and also entertainment as much as I can, because I'm definitely not, I'm not a late night host, but I can try to have some fun too. Um, oh, so I don't know about Inventory Lab. Brian asked. Uh, I haven't sent in anything via FBA since Amazon started being strict about what we can send in. Will Inventory Lab catch it for me? Oh, catch it as in, will it allow you to or let you know whether Amazon is accepting it or not? I assume so, if that's what you're asking, because I use Exceller List, and when I used it for my shipment, it would tell me, oh no, Amazon's not taking that right now, and it would say, oh, they have too much of that. But basically, that's probably not true. It's probably just because, well, maybe they do have too much of it. Maybe that's the reason why. The justification on their end is they're saying, we can only have so much space for, or we need enough space for the emergency stuff, the essential items, and the rest of it, we're slowly starting to release the pressure on that and allowing that stuff to go back. That's my assumption. Okay, yeah. So a seller list would just tell me, it would pop up a red box and tell me, no, because Amazon's not accepting that. Like when I listed all those books for FBA, it took the majority of them. It didn't take like two of them. But then when I listed CDs and audiobooks, it kicked out a bunch of them, and I had to list like 10 of them merchant fulfilled, and then I put, I don't know how many, a bunch on eBay because it wouldn't accept them. So I'd rather just list it merchant fulfilled or do eBay. And considering a lot of the merchant fulfilled prices have gone up compared to FBA, it was worth it for sure. So definitely not a silly question, but I recommend listing. I don't know. I mean, it seems to make sense to submit the feed on Monday though, because the warehouse situation, they might split it. Although mine was split during the week. So anyway, I'm rambling, but yeah, I would definitely list for sure. Okay. Yeah. So, and ask questions, guys, definitely for sure throughout this. As more people join in, I'll probably, like I'm trying to have more of a structured video or structured schedule. It's loose. It's not that structured, but just have ideas of what to talk about, and we can do a whole Q&A. But as we get more people, definitely ask some more questions. Throw me some questions, whatever. Hopefully, try to stay semi on topic, but whatever about business or about most things. So I want to talk about back to this.
Dude.
um, Creating a new habit, right? So these are just some ideas, right? A new habit of exercise, getting up earlier. If you're YouTubing or if you're doing any type of content creation, make more of that, videos, whatever it is. Um, yeah, posting on Instagram, checking Facebook, everything, the local apps, uh, reading more, writing. Okay, so for instance, like this. So this is going to be a relatively new habit. When we first started the quarantine, um, well, I'll get to that question in a second. And to Steve, what Steve said. So when I first started, or first started, when this quarantine first started, it was very strange, to say the least. But what ended up happening is we stayed up, wife and I stayed up too late, and we would get up too late with the kids. Like during when they were going to school normally, my daughter had to be at school by like 8:08, and so we would always be up by like 6:30, making breakfast and making sure that they were getting their stuff together, hearing them complain about having to take a shower or get their clothes on, etc. And then it ended up becoming we're getting up at 7:30, and so now recently we've started to go to bed a little earlier and getting up earlier. So that's part of this whole idea of creating a new habit. I think this is a great opportunity if you're stuck at home to create some sort of new habit. So for me, it's going to be getting up earlier to do the show, which means getting my day started earlier, going to bed earlier, hopefully, so that I get some sleep, and trying to just be able to get more done in the morning. So like this show, I'm going to go to 8 o'clock, so we have 13 more minutes, and I'll be ready to eat and ready to go for the day. But yeah, so getting up earlier is an idea. Also, anything related to the business, of course, right? Like if you want to start making videos, if you want to start posting advertisements, if you want to start checking your local apps consistently, make that a routine. Every morning you check your local apps to see, oh, is there anybody posting, whatever I'm looking for, Nikes, books, CDs, records, etc., because people will post stuff randomly throughout the day and night. If you have some alerts on there for certain searches, check those out. Other ideas, exercise. I highly recommend. This is general in life, getting exercise. This is a non-reseller topic, but this will definitely help you reselling. So for me, two things that I've started, even before reselling, I would go to the gym twice a week. I play soccer, and also, believe it or not, I do some yoga, which I highly recommend. But exercise. So two things for me, I started doing consistently every day push-ups because I can't go to the gym, and I've been doing like on another video, I'll show you all the different from home workout programs that I've been doing, the beach body stuff and other types of things. So I'll do that maybe for tomorrow. And there's this app, which I can't remember the name of it, but it's I think it's actually called Do the Splits in 30 Days. Now, this is an app that claims that within 30 days, by doing 15, 16 minutes a day, 30 days straight, that you'll be able to do the splits. Now, I'm inflexible. I've always been inflexible even when I was a kid. And so I doubt I'll be able to do the splits, but if I can go from where I am now, and I'm into day 8, well, actually today will be day 9 of that. This is a free app you can download on your phone. It'll help me tremendously. So this is a new habit, right? Every day I do my push-ups, usually in the afternoon, and then I'm doing this app. And after I do it, I'm much more loose and stretched out. And all this stuff is important in your life in general, and also just help you be more balanced. And this is a perfect time if you're at home to do these types of things, so that when things go back to whatever the new normal is, that you can have these new habits. Yeah, I think the app is called Splits in 30 Days, or Do the Splits in 30 Days, something like that. And it has a little drawing of a woman who's doing the exercise, and it tells you how to do it properly, and it actually is working in terms of loosening me up. I don't know how much closer I'm getting to being able to do the splits, but we'll see. I'm 8 days in. This is day 9. So, and also I saw a guy that I went to high school with on Facebook who was doing a ton of push-ups a day. The guy's doing like, I don't know if he's still doing it. I meant to message him to find out more details, but he was saying he's doing 1,000 push-ups a day. Now I'm not doing that at all, but I'm working up to doing more. But that will help with your overall strength. And if you go to the gym and you lift weights, that'll help as well. So these are just ideas, of ways to try to create a habit. By the way, we're up to 9 likes, and the goal is 20. So if you guys can hit the like button, if you haven't. If you don't want to, that's perfectly fine. It's not required. But if you feel like it, I will tell you a story. And again, I'm going to stay to this. If I don't hit 20 likes, it's going to roll over the next day. I'm going to try to get that story out about how I met this celebrity at a job that I had, years ago when I moved to Southern California. So let's see. Steve said media seems to be open 100% for FBA, but you may see more splits than normal. Okay, cool. So it's been a couple of weeks that since I sent in my first shipment during quarantine. And like I was saying, there were some things that were held back, but I got split 3 ways. Um, Fortunately, 2 of those warehouses were in California for me. So one of them was super close, and the other one was up in further up north, and the other one, the other warehouse was in like New Jersey. So that was ridiculous, but I was just happy to get the books out, and they were going to go for great money, so I was fine to pay the extra shipping. So I'll have to check that out. I have a little pile here on the floor of CDs and whatnot. We'll see if they accept those, and I've got some more that I'm putting together in the warehouse. Okay. South London asked, how have your book sales been on eBay? I'm not selling very many books on eBay. I haven't sold very many. I sold one like a week ago, but I don't have very many books on sale for eBay. I've got like, I don't know, 30 or something. It's pretty small. Now I'm up to about 490 individual eBay items, but the majority of them are CDs and DVDs. And then it breaks down into there's probably a fair split between like audio programs, like courses, so CDs and audiobooks, and then some video games, which do well, by and large, do really well. I usually list them and they sell pretty quickly. Even PC video games. I sell a lot of PC video games on eBay, and I have sold a lot. I just sold this one called Zoo Tycoon 2, and there was 3 separate discs that I put together. They are all together in the Gaylord, so those sold. Awesome. We hit 10 likes. Yeah, no problem. But yeah, but also in that same vein, South London, that I see a lot of people on Facebook selling a ton of books on eBay. So it's definitely, sales have gone up for a lot of people because a lot of people are at home. People that had set up, that went from only doing Amazon or FBA to selling or to listing a lot of books on eBay were doing really well before the quarantine, but I think they had a massive spike now because so many people are at home. Brian says he has a new habit, or a new habit's a great, yeah. I took on walking a minimum of 5 miles a day. Awesome. By the way, I started running. I hadn't been running, like actually jogging for years. I played soccer, but that's totally different than running or jogging. I used to be a runner a long time ago. I tried that in the beginning of the quarantine, and because everything's closed, like even trails are closed, I had to run on the cement and the street and the sidewalks, and that was pretty rough on the old joints. So I stopped doing that. But walking is great. You don't have to, if you walk for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, it's great exercise. Splits in 30, yeah. Okay, no problem. Okay, cool. So we're up to 10 likes. That's awesome. Another good habit to start. Oh, we got 5 minutes left, so let me get through this. Is to start reading, right? I mean, you may or may not have been reading very often before the quarantine, but now's a great time to start reading. You can, if you have some books around the house, if you're selling books, then you probably come across books all the time. It's a great habit, 20, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, 10 minutes. If you're not a big reader, this is a good time to start. Or if you're already a big reader, then you don't need to create the new habit. But this can be books related to business or self-help, but it can just be for fun, totally for fun books, fiction books, nonfiction, whatever it may be. Let's see. All right, let me do a little. All right. We got 4 more minutes to go. I really appreciate all you guys coming out. We're up to 11 likes. I don't know if we're going to hit the 20. I wasn't sure about how many to put up, or the goal to put up, if it was realistic or not. I know this is the first stream, so hopefully we'll get some more people on here tomorrow, and we can bump up those numbers, and I can tell you that story. So I wanted to ask, yeah, if there's some topics, I'll come up with some topics for tomorrow. But if you guys have ideas for topics, definitely leave them in the chat, or if you can comment below if you didn't watch this video live. I hope I gave you some good ideas about how to try to thrive during, instead of just surviving, thriving during this time. Because I talked about, we kind of checked in and see how everybody's doing, and it seemed like it's kind of hit or miss, right? Like some people's sales have gone up, some people's have gone down. Some people have a lot of items to go through and list, some people don't. So trying to, if your sales are slow and you're having a hard time finding stuff, try to go local. Maybe post some free ads or paid ads even. Actually, did someone ask me about paid ads? I can't remember where it went. Somebody had asked me about paid ads. Let me just check. Anyway, I thought somebody did. But yeah, I have done paid Facebook ads, and they do work for sure. There's good response on that. So if you have some extra money to do that, and you really want to try to get people to donate books to you, that's a way to go. But you're paying money for it, so it depends on if you have the budget for that type of thing. So yeah, so try to do, or find more items to resell locally on the apps. That's just a big one, right? Like I'm gonna check them when I get off here. I always check, you never know. Even though I have a lot of stuff, I found those books for free a few weeks ago, and you just never know what you'll come across. People will just give away stuff, or they'll offer stuff for really cheap because they just want to get it out of there. And like I got all those books. I got like 6 tubs of books for $20. And the $20 is just like a nominal fee. They don't even it's not like they're trying to make a bunch of money. They're mostly just trying to get rid of those books and move it along. So we checked in with each other. I talked about how to try to do better, not just survive, thrive during this time, create some new habits. I didn't talk about it. I was going to talk about, before I went live, I was kind of a little worried, not freaking out about it, but just kind of, unsure about how it would go, because I have not gone live in a long time, since last year. I used to do it quite a while for a long time, but and this is a new software, so I will get better as we go forward. We're up to 12 likes. Awesome. I really appreciate that, guys. And yeah, so for tomorrow will be day 2. We'll do 7 a.m. and I will come up with some new ideas of what to talk about. And if you guys have ideas, definitely let me know. Some ideas I was having maybe was, I can talk about like sales that I'm getting on eBay. I can talk about, which I have not made a video on. I can talk about my warehouse and, where, just generally like how I found it, why I decided to take on to lease out that space. Thank you, Barb. And try to give you guys some ideas about that, about trying to grow your business and what I'm going through right now, trying to grow my business, and thinking about, post lockdown quarantine and what my business is going to look like. So anyway, so there's different ideas that I have that we can talk about. All right. So I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the likes. If you haven't liked the video, please do. And if you're watching this later on, leave some comments below if you have any ideas for future videos or questions or anything like that. And we'll be on here tomorrow at 7 a.m. And this is called Flippin Live, right? It's our live show. And I want this to be more, not just about me. I want this to be about all of us. I want you guys to participate as much as possible. And so I'm going to play, if you haven't heard it yet, whoopsie. I'm getting used to this whole thing. I appreciate you guys for watching. It's been awesome.
Flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live, flippin' live. We're gonna strive. We're here to learn.
What do you guys think of the song?
Gonna
You hear
earn. Flippin' live. Flippin' live.
It's original.
Flippin' live.
Original song.
Flippin' live.
And you know who's singing? Guess who's singing? That's my wife singing. So thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great day. Definitely tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. We'll be going from 7 to 8 a.m. We will see if we'll do it every day. Definitely Monday through Friday. So I'll be getting up early, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll do day 2 tomorrow and have some fun and hopefully learn something. And yeah, we'll get through this whole crazy lockdown together. Yeah, stay safe. Definitely stay safe. Stay inside as much as possible. Stay away from people. Wear a mask. Be safe, guys. I appreciate you guys for being here. So I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.